Let's talk about tournament formats in here. T, I'm getting another question from Ted about tournament formats, so I'll let you get started on that, and then we can ask your question, answer your question, Ted, and any other questions you may have. So, Tia, do you want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing for tournaments this year?
Sure. So again, with the idea of safety in mind, we won't use any more than 3 competition courts in our facility, and so that means we'll have 3 courts running competition and 3 courts set for dedicated areas to put. Well, I'll call them camping areas, but you'll be putting the gear down, and people will be able to sit while they wait for their next match. And the way we set up the MVPLs this season is we are going to have each competition is going to be basically pool play. So we're not going to have playoff brackets. You're going to play in a 14 pool. And once you finish your competition in that pool, you're going to be done for the day. So, and then if you come in first place for that pool, then we're going to give you certain points that will accumulate throughout the season. And then at the end of our season, we'll have a end of season competition that will basically be a double elimination playoff system. You'll show up that day, still the same thing. You're only going to play for 3 to 5 matches, depending on how far you advance into the playoff brackets. And so what that means is that the athlete is only going to be into our facility for pretty much half of a day. We have sessions that go from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that's really limiting the amount of time that the athlete's going to spend competing. So we feel like that was a safe, the limit of our ability to keep the athlete safe in the facility. And, I think one of the questions was about, or some of the questions have been about the parent involvement. And as Rodrigo mentioned earlier, we still want to continue to have that. And we think that what we've done through OIV really created a great model to allow those parents to come in. We do have a live streaming option for parents to be able to watch. And if we do have a plan, if it ever opens up more, to allow some parents to be able to come in to be spectators. But so I just wanted to point out, we do have that in place, but we're not in a position that we would implement that at the time.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to mention here, like Tia was saying, we are trying to work with what we know right now, and what we know right now is that we are confident about the procedures we have put in place. We don't think athletes personally, and as NBVA, I think we agree that we don't think athletes should be in the facility that long of a time as it was in the past. And hopefully one day it's gonna come back. But spending 10 hours in the facility, I think the chances of exposure and for the athletes to get the resources they need, well, it's like food and rest, it becomes more difficult. So in our events, we're gonna shorten that time so that the athletes can come in, they can play, and then they can go home. All right. And then when it comes to travel events, to go play in different venues, right now we have on your budget and on the planning online, you can see that we have that just as a tentative. It's not on your budget to travel. So if we do decide to travel, we're gonna need to do an assessment, a special assessment. That's what we call it on the website. It's nothing huge. It's about between $100 and $300 per event. That covers registration costs, coaches pay, and all those things. But we decided not to put that on your fees because right now we don't know. And what does it mean we don't know? Like, for instance, Capitol Hill Classic, the event happens in DC. It just moved to Atlanta. The whole event moved to Atlanta. Luckily, we are not planning to 100% go at this time because we were not sure what the procedures were. And why we are not sure? Because we look at the website, we try to talk to different events, and we don't see any procedures out right there listed. So if we don't know, we don't go. Because for us this year, it's much more important to keep our kids safe, to start the season to continue the season, to end the season without a shutdown and without cases in our facility, or if there are cases without a spread, then going to play in different places, and then all of a sudden we have to stop, and that's not our priority, and that's definitely not our plan. So I just wanted to point that out. And then Tad, so with that, Tad, your question about carpooling to events if we have to travel, that's up to you as a parent, right? Here, I think the parents need to make a good decision about who the kids are going to be traveling with and the exposure they're going to be having. The kids are going to be on the courts playing together, so they're going to be together at that time. So if you have a sister that plays with on your team, if you have a best friend that you're always with, that your families have made an agreement with some policies about COVID, that's totally fine. We're not gonna stop you from doing that. Just ask that you be very careful, very mindful, and all the parents, we ask you, especially in the next couple of weeks, there you become very mindful of when you send your kids to our facility, because we would like to make sure we go through the winter without cases at all, or if there are any cases that we're able to stop it right away. Yeah, anything else did I miss on the tournament that we're going to be having? Again, so Capitol Hill Classic moved to Atlanta. So for those of you that love Capitol Hill Classic in DC, I can tell you right now, for a couple of reasons, I don't plan to go to Atlanta with our teams. I'm not confident right now putting any kids on an airplane going somewhere. And not only because of the airplane, it's because of the hotel situation and the transportation from hotel. There's a lot of logistical things that we need to think about. So Capitol Hill Classic is not happening this year. And plus, since we just mentioned to everybody that we are going to be following JVA AAU guidelines this year, which is more state of Virginia CDC guidelines, we are not going to be participating in USA volleyball events. We're going to be participating mostly in JVA AAU events this season.